It's spooky season! Hey everyone, it's me again, Brittany, and I'm here today to do my October spooky-ish TBR video for the month of October, Halloween month, my favorite month of the year. I am absolutely so excited about this. I haven't yet decorated, but don't worry, there's gonna be a whole video coming of decking out my house in Halloween-themed stuff. I just haven't gotten to it yet, and I wanted to get this TBR video up for you guys because I have a question to ask you at the end, and I'd like that done sooner rather than later, you know what I mean? Let's get into it. For this month, I have a very tentative TBR. I really just went into my shelves and looked for my spookiest books that I own. I just don't own that many, and I grabbed them all out because there's a chance of me reading all of these. I will specifically talk about the ones that I really want to get to first, and then towards the end I'll talk about the other ones that are general options. First and foremost, I definitely want to be reading Before the Devil Breaks You by Libba Bray. I have been reading the Diviners series every single Halloween as it comes. So I read the Diviners, it's gonna be 3 years ago now. Two years ago. So not last year, but the year before that. That was my first audiobook I ever listened to, and it was in the month of October. It was just such a perfect vibe. They're very spooky, they're very atmospheric, they're still very lively, and I have just made it a habit now to pick up the next book in the series the next October. If you didn't know, this series is actually set in the 20s in New York City, and it follows a whole cast of different people that all have one thing in common, and that is that they are diviners, or they have some sort of magical power that kind of sets them apart. Mysterious things have been happening in New York, and they're kind of being left to deal with the consequences and find out what is happening. So the first book dealt with serial killings that were happening that were so spooky, so creepy, so paranormal. The second one I think was even scarier, and it had to do with another situation that was happening that was also paranormal, and I have no idea what Before the Devil Breaks You will bring around because I just know it's probably gonna be even better than the last one, but we'll see. So I'm really excited about that. The next book that I really want to read is going to be The Night Film by Marisha Pessl. I've been hearing so many things about this book for so many years. I think I set this on my TBR last year to read, and then I just never got to it. But I feel like this year is going to be the year to try it out because it sounds thrillery and spooky, and I don't have enough spooky books to read, so it's definitely gonna have to be on the list. This follows a potential suicide of the daughter of an infamous horror movie director, and it follows one guy specifically who thinks that this suicide is just too much of a coincidence for it to truly be a suicide. And so it's going to set him on a journey of trying to discover who this infamous director is because he hasn't been seen in over 30 years. And I hear that the cult following of this director is so well done throughout the book, and that the format is really cool because it has like news articles and pictures and things like that. So I'm really excited to read it. I feel like it's just gonna be a good whodunit and maybe even a psychological style thriller. Those are my favorite kinds. I'm hoping for it, but it might not be. It might just be, you know, horror. I have no idea. I just know it has to do with that. The next book that I actually really want to read, which I didn't even know I would want to until I got my owl crate in the mail, is going to be The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I had no idea that this was actually a book. I recently watched the TV show on Netflix. I loved it. It was really creepy, really spooky, and it was a huge thinker. Like, it wasn't just a horror movie, it was a lot more going on, and I still don't fully grasp the concept of it all. So when we got this in the owl crate, I knew that I would have to pick it up and better understand what I had seen. So Haunting of Hill House is a complicated thing to talk about, but basically, so I actually recently found out that the Netflix series doesn't follow the same storyline as the book, so I might be giving the wrong description right now, and that's why. Basically, it's a family that had been living in Hill House. This is set years in the future after they'd all moved out, after a mysterious incident left them running from the house in the middle of the night, and they are now being drawn back to the house for one reason or another. And it's just very complex. I'm surprised it's actually such a small book. I love that this has the gray sprayed edges. It's much more than just a ghost story, because if it was just a ghost story, I think I wouldn't still be thinking about it. But after that show, the ending of it all, I still just don't understand exactly, and I think that reading it is going to really creep me out, but also help me, so yes. The next book that I really want to read this month is going to be Strange Grace by Tessa Gratton. This is actually a book that I heard a lot about last year around this time of the year, and I was instantly intrigued and definitely wanted to pick it up for myself. I had seen Common Spence raving about it, and I definitely wanted to get my hands on it, so thank you to Chan. She actually sent this to me for my birthday, so I love you. I'm really hyped about it. There was a few books that came out like in a string of time. I think there's like 3 books that came out with very similar summaries, where it was like someone was being left in the woods to deal with a curse being put on the town. And this one specifically I heard was spooky. So let me just read you like a little tagline, because I feel like that was really what did me in. So it says, long ago, a village made a bargain with the devil. To ensure their prosperity, when the slaughter moon rises, the village must sacrifice a young man to the depths of the devil's forest. Now the twist on this is that the slaughter moon has risen early, and they're gonna kind of have to scramble to get a man out in the woods to sacrifice to the devil, which just sounds like a recipe for disaster, but also amazing. I like what Chan wrote to me, because she goes, witchy, fall, and Polly. Hell yeah. We have her stamp of approval. We have a few people's stamps of approval, and I'm excited to stamp it myself for approval. Yeah, I'm actually really excited about this. I kind of forgot that I had it for a moment, and then I remembered that this is another book that I'd gotten for my birthday from a lovely subscriber, and that is gonna be City of Ghosts by V.E. Schwab, or Victoria Schwab. So this is her middle grade series that has to do with a young girl that almost drowned. Well, she did drown, and she died, but she was brought back, and now she has the gift to see into the other side. This is actually a very interesting gift for her, since her parents are hosts of a TV show that goes around looking at paranormal places. It sounds so fascinating. I know it takes place in Edinburgh. I know that it deals a lot with ghosts, and I'm really curious to see how it will play out, because I know it's a middle grade, but I feel like in general, Victoria Schwab's writing tends to be very creepy. Like, she has a knack of making creepy atmospheres, and I'm excited to see it in like an actual paranormal style book. The next book that I actually kind of grabbed on a whim is another one that's actually by Victoria Schwab, and that's gonna be The Near Witch. So, well, V.E. Schwab. See, I said it wrong for that one, and then I said it wrong for this one, so it's the same person, it's just said differently in different books. The reason that I kind of picked this out, I don't know much about it. Okay, this is what I know it has to do with. Spooky. That is spooky, okay? There's like a creepy, ghost-like, wraith-like person pointing, and that was kind of enough to creep me out. And I know that it says, the Near Witch is only an old story to frighten children. If the wind calls at night, you must not listen. The wind is lonely and always looking for company. There are no strangers in the town of Near. And I know it has to do with children mysteriously disappearing in this town, when this is all supposed to be just a myth. So that's all I know about this one. This is one of the books that I know the least about of V.E. Schwab's, but I just feel like it's gonna be very creepy. Like, I don't know if it's necessarily going to be scary, but it sounds scary, so it's on my TBR. The next book that I would like to get to this month, if I have the opportunity to get to, is going to be Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I haven't read this yet. I mean, I know at this point in my life, because I am a learned adult, I guess, that Frankenstein is not referring to the monster, it's referring to the doctor. I know. Applause for me. I discovered that all on my own without reading the book. Who am I? I don't know much else about it. I just know that it's an evil genius scientist person who is trying to bring people back to life, and in the events that unfold, he accidentally makes a monster. I'm just excited about this. This is the original, like the OG horror, and I love that it's written by a woman. Like, good for her, when like women were not writers or not allowed to be, and I'm just really excited about it. And this edition is just so stunning. If you guys were wondering, this is like the Barnes & Noble Classics edition, but not like their hardcover ones. They have like a softcover line as well, and that's what this is. I'm really excited about it. I do have the audiobook just on Audible, just in case one day I want to listen to it, so I might have to make the effort and actually do that this month. This last book, I'm honestly not sure if I want to read this month, but I have it on the list because it's supposed to be thrillery, and I actually tend to like thrillers more than I like horror in general. I just think they are so much more fast-paced. I love good plot twists, so I figured I'd have at least another thriller on the list, but I haven't heard good things about it, and that's gonna be Little Monsters by Kara Thomas. I bought this last year when it was super hyped up, and I just never really looked back into it, but recently I've been seeing tons of polarizing reviews over it, and just people saying that it wasn't what they expected, giving it lower ratings, which is a little bit disappointing and make me not want to pick it up, but I do already own it, so I figure if there's gonna be a month for me to try and force my way through it, it's gonna be this month. I don't know much about this. I'm pretty sure it has to do with a girl that leaves a party in the night and all her friends disappear. Let's double check. Yeah, so it looks like it has to do with a girl that's starting a new life in a new town, and she has a couple of friends that invite her to do everything with them. And it's very odd because they start acting very distant and separating themselves from her, and they don't invite her to the biggest party of the year. And she's never gonna be able to ask them why they didn't, because they disappear, and everyone's looking to the new girl for answers. So yeah, I'm excited to try and read it. We'll give it a shot, so it's on the list. Yeah, those are all the books that I really have to talk about today. I'm really excited. I don't know. I feel like this isn't as creepy as my TBR was last year, and that is why I have this question for you guys. What is one October spooky thrillery horror book that you would 100% recommend? I would prefer like a thriller and on the end of psychological thrillers. I think that those are my favorite, but if you have any kind of recommendations, I would love to know, but specifically psychological thrillers. So leave the comments down below, and then if you see someone already recommending the book that you're talking about, please like it, because I'm gonna try and look at all the most liked ones, read the summaries, and decide on which one to read for this month. That's gonna be it for my spooky October TBR. I will try not to be so happy-go-lucky in the rest of my videos. This is a spooky month. I want to be spooky. So I can't wait to decorate my shelves, decorate my book room with you guys, and I'm so excited for this month. I will see you in my next one. Goodbye!